Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here. Welcome to a new game, SINoALICE. I'm sure you guys have heard of this game at least a dozen times, alright? Pretty sure it's famous enough to be known. Okay, so this game can be quite confusing for newer players, especially if you have no idea what to do, like how to reroll, etc. So hopefully I will be able to guide you guys. Now do keep in mind that the game has just only launched, alright? So I've managed to find out a couple of interesting things regarding the game, so I have decided to make this video and share it with you guys as well. So let's dive into it. Okay, so before you start playing the game, basically you will be greeted with a screen to do multiple rolls. In that particular section, that is the reroll process entirely. So you will just be rerolling right there itself. Alright, so ideally, based on what I've heard and based on what I've seen, you want to get SR weapons. So SR is the highest rarity. Alright, so not to be confused with SS. Because if I'm not mistaken, in JP it's called SS. But right here, the global version is called SR. So do keep that in mind. The highest rarity is SR. So what are the targets right there? There are some classes that you can reroll for. Alright, if I'm not mistaken, there are 3 different classes that you can reroll for at the beginning of the game. Alright, so it's literally the same with what we have in the Grimoire section right here. Alright, unlockable class, there are 3 different ones. Okay, so one is for unlocking Alice Cleric class. You will also get the Staff of Bondage weapon alongside with her. Also, you get to unlock Cinderella Breaker class alongside with Blade of Depravity SR weapon. And lastly, you get Pinocchio Sorcerer class, which is a Tome of Dependence, which is not an SR. This will be defaulted to S. Obviously, you can. This is all post-evolution display right here. This one can upgrade to L. Alright, so those 3 classes is an option to be rerolled as well. So there are some players have told me that Nightmare can be obtained as well. During my reroll, I tried like 100 times and I didn't get any nightmares at all. So I would not recommend going for nightmares. It's so difficult and I'm not entirely sure if you can actually reroll for them. So if anybody knows, let me know in the comments below. But ideally, the best way to reroll is to get 2 classes. Alright? So you want to get at least 2 out of these 3, which is not going to be easy. Alright? Because if I'm not mistaken, the rates are pretty low. I'm not entirely sure what's the percentage. Is it 3% per each of them? So if you can't get 2 of the classes and you think it's very hard, which I did try to reroll like crazy. I think I almost did it for like almost 1 hour plus and I was like getting sick of it. So if you can't roll for at least 2 classes, try to get at least 1 class and then 2 SR weapons, which is what I have right here. Alright, so I basically rerolled for 1 class and 2 SR weapon. So that's what I settled for. So regarding the characters itself, right, you can't really roll for characters. And how do you unlock the characters? So I'm going to show you guys. It's a little bit confusing because this gacha game is very different. Alright, so hopefully I can help you guys clear the confusion as well. It's very, very unique. Alright, it's not something that you see often. So ideally, most of the time when you roll for a weapon, right? So some weapons have some classes that I mentioned that has the weapon associated to them. Alright, in this case, let me show you guys. So for example, if you get Alice Cleric, it will unlock this Staff of Bondage alongside with it. So you also get 1 additional SR weapon alongside with it, which is pretty cool. So you get that particular weapon and you get the class itself. Now the class itself is what makes it very unique. Like this is something that I find it pretty cool. If you look at the characters, right? For example, let me show it to you. Okay, if you notice, I have Alice Breaker, right? So this is Alice, a Breaker class. Also, I do have a different Alice. I have an Alice Cleric class. So, one character can have multiple different classes. It's not locked to that class. It's just that what weapons they can hold onto them. So notice Cleric can only equip this kind of weapon. So this is a staff if I'm not mistaken. And that is I'm not entirely sure what is this actually. It's a sealed dragon puppet, basically, a puppet. So you can see, I can't equip anything else, right? So despite both of them being Alice, Alright, Alice Cleric, because it's a different class, can only equip Cleric specific weapons. So for this one, Alice Breaker, so I can equip sword, I can equip spears, I can equip guns, hammers, etc. Alright, so ideally you want to obtain as many variety of weapons as you can. Even if you want to roll for SR, for example, right? This is what I do think. You want to try to roll number one element, very important. So you can see there's fire element, there's water, there's wind. Alright, you want a variety of elements in your SR weapons. You don't want, let's say you get super lucky, you get 5 SR weapon, but all of them are fire. You don't want to reroll for that. You want to skip that and try to get different type of weapon and different type of element. So you don't want all of them to be sword or all of them to be guns either. Alright, you want to have a variety of different ones. Now, no class is better than others. As far as I'm concerned, every single class is useful. Alright, so there's no tier list of who is better or what character is better, because every single character is tied to the particular class that they have. Okay, so once you are done rerolling, you will be greeted with the ability to choose 4 or is it 5 different units. So I decided to pick her. Alright, so it doesn't matter who you pick in that particular case. You can choose whoever you want. So the reason why I picked her, I picked SINoALICE, is because I thought she was cool. Alright, so I didn't know as well, but apparently you can unlock them later on in the story. Alright, so how do you unlock them in the story? In the main story right here, if you go to chapter 1, alright, you see this one with the icon right here. Just go to chapter 1. Chapter 1.1 will give you 1. So let's say Princess Kaguya, right? Chapter 1.1 of this character, you will get 1 of their class. So if I'm not mistaken, this icon right here, it means that you will be unlocking 1 class later at chapter 4. That looks like it belongs to Snow White. And then here you will unlock 1 class here. Here you will unlock 1 class, right? So I'm not entirely sure. So far, the entire story seems pretty easy. So how do you proceed through the chapter? Alright, so you need to do what you want to call, you need to set them up, alright, the character in the gear section. I'm going to show you guys. For example, right now, I've already completed all of this chapter 1. So let's say I want to play chapter 1 for Princess Kaguya, chapter 110. So if I click this, notice I'm using this Alice. I can use any of the characters. You are only allowed to use 1 character in each battle. Keep that in mind. Only 1 character in each battle, and you will be accompanied by 4 different AI characters. Alright, 4 CPU. So, but this particular one, when I press start, it will say the character story must be started with Princess Kaguya to be fully viewed, right? Are you sure you want to start the story? So now, how do I configure it? So I can, now remember, I did mention earlier, once you play through chapter 1, chapter 1.1, chapter 1.1, for each of the character, you notice this icon here, you unlock one of the Princess Kaguya's class. You unlock the Paladin version of her. Okay, if you want to view the story, go to gear. Alright, so look at this. Look at this. It says 7 out of 15. You can make 15 different sets, right? Alright, character sets. So if I want to create a new set right here, click. So let's search for Princess Kaguya right there. Boom. Okay, I select Princess Kaguya. So let's equip her. This is a Paladin class Princess Kaguya. So let's equip her with multiple weapons. She can use all of these weapons, but her specialty is lance or spear. She can use sword, she can use hammers, she can use crossbows and guns, I think. Okay, so let's go to, usually I just do this, recommended, and just put the strongest. Okay, equip the strongest gear. Boom. Okay, so now I have a Princess Kaguya that is, let's see, where is she? Right here. You can see it has 12,392 points. So these points is basically BP or CP, whatever you want to call it. It's called points right here for whatever reason, but basically it's like the combat power or the point power basically. But do keep in mind, different characters can equip same equipments. So right here you can see, I have this SR's fire sword, right? So if I go right here, alright, if I click on, for example, right here, I click on a Cinderella if I'm not mistaken. No, Red Riding Hood. She has this fire sword as well. So you can see that the weapons are shared among all different characters, all different classes, job classes. Okay, so do keep that in mind. So which is why you want to have multiple different type of weapons, because they are shared. So let's say one weapon is strong. In this case, that sword is, I power it up to be extremely strong. So every single unit or classes that can equip that sword will automatically be strong, right? I mean, straightforward. So let's go into main story. We're going to jump into here. I'm going to show you guys Princess Kaguya right here. Click. Alright, let's say I click chapter 10. So now if I select Princess Kaguya, it will be highlighted right there. You can see the orange highlight for her. So if I click, it will no longer say the part where, oh, you need her to view the story or whatever. Alright, so the story is pretty average for me. I don't see why it's like that good, but maybe there's more to it later on. But for now, it seems, I would say it's average. I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't say it's like as hype as everyone has mentioned, that it has the best story or whatever. Okay, so I will just leave the entire story in auto mode, so this is going to be pretty easy. So as you can see, this is my character right here in the middle. The 4 other units are CPU. You are only allowed to bring one character into the battle. So the battle system is all about having multiple weapons down here. You can see I can pick whichever weapon that I want, right? And using them to attack the opponents. Obviously, there's more to the mechanics than just the weapons attacking them. I notice I have one weapon that can buff my physical and magical defense as well, which is pretty cool. Alright, so everything happens in real time. It's not taking turns, it's who can click first. So right now, if I click the sword first, boom, now that sword hits that guy. Pretty cool weapon right there. Okay, so once you have used up all of the weapons, right, it will consume this SP thing. Later you will see. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show it. So once everything ends, you can resummon the weapon. That will consume the SP, which is basically like an energy system. Alright, so yeah, with that way you can view their story. You can actually clear each of the chapter 1, because at 1-1 you do unlock the specific class of each of these mercenaries. So in this case, you each of these units class, in this case you get Pinocchio Crusher right here, right? So yeah, it's kind of confusing, I understand, but ideally for beginners, you just want to focus on getting as many classes unlocked as you can. Now, let's talk about gears for a bit. Alright, everything is under here, upgrade and sell. So, you can upgrade your gears. And from what I gather, you want to upgrade multiple SR gears. Do not focus on just one, alright, because there are some cases that you might have classes that cannot equip that particular gear. For example, this is a bow, level 34. Alright, so you can click change base. Interface is a little bit weird if you ask me, but I think it's manageable. So for example, this is a staff of bondage. So you can upgrade using all of these. Alright, plenty of these. So upgrading will improve the stats. Level 15, boom. So pretty easy. So press upgrade once you're done. And then you can see you will get up the level and it has improved stats. So ideally, I would say work on your SR gears first. Alright, when you're first starting out, try to work on your SR gears. That would be your focus. There are armor as well. Alright, they are nightmare as well, like I mentioned earlier. Nightmare seems to be what seems to be like a summon creature that you can use in battle as well, which is pretty cool. So ideally, when you are beginning, when you're starting out, you want to work on your SR equipments. Do not just work on one, work on multiple SR weapons. Alright, it's going to be much more beneficial than just having a very strong gear. I do think that having multiple moderate ones is better than having one extremely strong one. Alright, so now let's talk about your characters, right? How do you upgrade them? It's under here. Upgrade the class. So for example, you can see this mastery right here. This thing is shared. Alright, some players might be confused by this, but this thing is shared across all your classes. For example, if I power her up, if I do this, boom. Alright, so that is going to consume, that's going to reduce by 1100. Okay, so it becomes 1192, right? Okay, so now I'm level 4. So she is level 4, Cinderella Gunner. So I have remaining of 1192. Okay, so I can use that to upgrade someone else. So let's use that 1192 maybe to upgrade my Alice, for example, or maybe her. I think she's pretty decent, so let's upgrade her. So boom, boom. So look at that. So now I have this remaining. So this thing is shared by every single of your classes. So to get them, basically just use them more in battle. It doesn't matter who you use more based on what I've seen. Ideally, it is what it is. You do have option to limit break as well. Alright, so this is when you already max level them. So limit break gear and class. So you can see these diamonds right here. Alright, this can be a limit broken up to 4 times if I'm not mistaken. For example, if I do this and I press OK, you can see there's a diamond right here. Alright, so basically you're able to do it 4 times per character. It's either character, class, or weapon, or in this case, this is a gear. Alright, let's talk about purification for a bit before I end the video, because this is quite important as well. So if you run out of AP somewhat, and yes, there's an energy system in this game, AP, you can do purification right here, start purifying. So this game mode is a bit different. So what you want to do, alright, you want to drag across these monsters like that, okay? So it's pretty straightforward. Try to do as many as you can, because it's time limited. And then this will give you AP in battle. Or basically you can recharge your AP. From what I gather, before level 20, you can do unlimited amount of times. Not entirely sure about that. So yeah, that's how you do it. Oh yeah, right here is written, endless purification until rank 20. So yes, you can do this endlessly for now. But once you are rank 20, from what I gather, every 8 hours you can only do purification 1 time. So we rank up, AP recovered plus 50, you earn this amount of EXP, 54 slayings. Alright, this is something that I guess you want to try to do at the beginning. Do as many purifications as you can, gather up or recharge your AP as much as you can. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I hope I explained it well. And if you guys need any more help, please head over to my Discord. Links will be in the description below. I'm sure plenty of other players there would be willing to help you out as well. As always, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, give this video a like. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.